Hey folks, Bob Reese here with the Guides Forecast, giving you a fishing report for Saturday the 15th of August. It's getting to be routine to go out to the ocean, but it's just too inviting not to take advantage of. So had the Sea Gals on board, my cousins who've been fishing with me for many years. Their dad, Jerry Lake, took me fishing as a kid, as you might have heard me yesterday explaining the video. So it's always a special Saturday when I get to take them out. They're all such a gas, such a good time. Here's how they ended up with their catch today. And it was a good day, but we, another lesson about not getting out there first thing. I had called one of my friends, Todd Stone King, about getting how he was catching out in the ocean. He had about a half-hour jump on me, and he said it was busy out on the 17 line, about 93 foot of water, he said, and doubles, triples. And by the time we got out there, the bite had already tapered. So this has been happening quite a bit for the last couple of days, but very common, as I write about a lot, is that after a hard morning feed, these fish just simply go off the bite. So, it happened to me. We only got 2 hatchery coho amongst the fleet, and there was a lot of boats offshore today. The bar was quite calm. I didn't anticipate it even being as calm as it was, but there were no restrictions, and it was an easy ride out to that 193 foot of water. Again, about the 17 line, which is about due west of where the lighthouse is. And we didn't see a lot of fish being caught, so I didn't spend a whole bunch of time trying to eke it out, because we had some great history in the recent couple of days. You guys have heard me report on the Buoy 3 to Buoy 1 troll, and we pulled into that troll after about an hour messing around with the fleet. Started about 70 to 80 foot of water and just trolled west, and after we did about 3 of those passes out to about 230 foot of water, we got our 12, 1 Chinook and another 11 coho to top out at 13 coho and 1 Chinook for the day. But it took several hours, and hard to complain about that. A lot of good grade coho in the mix, and trolling the spinner chunk baits and the skinny minis up in the bow rods have been consistently producing good catches. So it was a good day in the ocean, but a lot of people had to work for them unless you were there at first light when some of the fastest action takes place there. So I think tomorrow, instead of going out there and praying for rain, so to speak, that I might just start at Buoy 3, and the tide's going to be ripping out pretty hard. When we first got in there this morning, even though it was towards the end of the tide, we were trolling about 5 miles an hour heading northwest, but the fish were still biting. Matter of fact, they bite quite a bit more aggressively on that fast troll, and the strike to land ratio is good. But I think what was most important about that fishery on the Green Line, north of the Green Line, is that almost all of the fish were hatchery fish. I think we ended up releasing about 4 wild ones, according to cousin Lisa, keeping tally. So that's really what made our day, is the fact that we did not have to release a bunch of wild coho, which is what we were finding out deep, along with a lot of smaller fish as well. So I might find myself starting there, even though it'll be max ebb, but if the water isn't too disturbed, it's supposed to be another calm day on the ocean. So hopefully we have a calm bar and a nice ocean plume coming out of the Columbia that keeps things pretty settled down. We can hopefully have a good day fishing in the morning. So I think you'll be seeing me start. I really want to get fishing on that Buoy 7 to Buoy 3 troll, but it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of fish in close to buoy 7 for some reason I can't explain, but I call that Chinook Alley, and I've fished it at least 4 times this season, and there's not any Chinook in there. I don't know where they're entering the river at, but it's not in front of my gear. At least they're not biting. So that's the folks that fish to the south. It's the same story as it's been for a good part of the year. Jellyfish problems to the south. So those that want to go out to buoy 2 and the CR buoy, you're going to be fighting some jellyfish, and that's going to keep your gear from effectively fishing. So keep that in mind if that's what your plan is. Plan on fighting the jellyfish. River fishing was definitely tougher for people today. Kind of fleet wide, I heard. I don't know if it was the change in wind direction. It was coming from the south. There wasn't much wind, but it's still a weather change nonetheless. A little bit of mist, a little bit of drizzle. But folks in the river did struggle quite a bit more than they have been. And, you know, it was surprising to see not a whole lot of people fishing Desdemona Light Marker when we went out this morning. So I think everybody had the ocean on their mind, and it just wasn't as easy as most of us thought it would be out there. So, but some of the better action I heard about, and it's clearly consistent by the crowds I've seen hovering at the bridge on the Oregon side, is that that hover bite, particularly at close to high tide on the Oregon and the Washington side, has been productive. So one of my friends did quite well fishing north of the main fleet of hover anglers on the Washington side, fishing that 70-foot stuff. Got some quality coho over there and a Chinook as well. So cool to see some of these coho that are already committed to the river. It sure makes me think that we're going to have a bigger than anticipated coho return this year. So that's exciting to hope for. Yeah, even the folks the guides that have been coming in early with early limits of Chinook, spent a good part of the day in search of their quarry today. So a little bit tougher on the river tomorrow. Who's to say how that's gonna, or today, who's to say how that's gonna be tomorrow? But I'm gonna go for the ocean again, and we'll continue to report through the weekend. Hope these reports are helping our subscribers. This report is for Chinook and Steelhead members. It'll be posted on the Columbia section. So keep checking that, and good fishing. Thanks for being subscribers of the Guides Forecast. Good luck out there on Sunday.